All right, let me bring on my dear friend, Dr. Kent Hovind. For 15 years, Dr. Hovind taught high school. He taught math and science. During that 15 years, he completed his master's degree then in education. He went on to get his PhD in education. And Dr. Hovind then afterwards began a full-time ministry of presenting the foundational truths of creation and the utter fallacy and the lies of evolution and became known all over the world, debated in top-notch debate platforms and forums and university settings, television, radio, wrote books, made movies, and all manner of things. His award-winning 7-part creation seminar continues to travel around the world. It's been translated into 32 languages. I'm telling you, find clips of it all over YouTube and hundreds of thousands of comments under those clips over the years of people all over the world who have either been saved or deeply discipled in the Word because of Dr. Hovind's ministry. I've known Dr. Kent Hovind since he moved to Northwest Florida area about 25 years ago. His sons, Eric and Kent Jr., when they were just kids when Dr. Hovind and I met, but now they're grown men with families of their own, and they're dear friends of mine. And Eric has been on this show, Freedom Friday, several times. And Kent, I had the opportunity to visit you when you were in the Santa Rosa County Jail. A lot of people know that story, but you're going to tell it. And I was telling you off air, I don't know if it's your fault or not, but right after I visited with you, I've been a pastor here for 29 years. I've been visiting in that jail for those whole 29 years. Right after I visited with you, I don't have visiting privileges anymore. And I tried to go back, and they said, no, you got to take a class. I said, but I've taken all the classes. Well, you got to take another one. And so I signed up for it. And then they bumped me and said, well, we got somebody else. Anyway, ever since I visited you several months ago, I have yet to be able to get back in the Santa Rosa County Jail, and I've been visiting there for 29 years. I think it's because of you. That's the correlation, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I would tend to agree, brother. I seem to start to go.
You know, I've been blaming it on you. So, I mean, you're just an easy mark. I mean, everybody's been blaming everything on you for years now, right? So, I mean, you know.
Man, you wouldn't believe it. Yes, sir. That is exactly correct.
Dr. Kent, I tell you, man, I love you. You're a great brother in the Lord. You've got an amazing story. Most of the listeners today know your story, but some of them won't. Some of them, a few of them, I'm sure, don't even know who you are, but most of our listeners do. But for the sake of those who don't really know the story or the details of it, or don't know the very latest, how about giving us a quick synopsis from beginning to end? And you'll have to be quick with it, of course. You know how radio works. But just kind of give us a synopsis of what happened to your ministry, why you went to prison, what they tried to do, why you were back here. They brought more charges against you, and now you're free. How did all of that happen?
Well, as you mentioned, I taught high school science and math 15 years, moved to Pensacola January 1989, and started a ministry called Creation Science Evangelism, where I traveled and preached on the subject of creation, evolution, and dinosaurs.
Yep.
I traveled all over the world, spoke at your church, had a wonderful time, and I just presented the scientific evidence that supports the Bible as being exactly correct as written. Mm-hmm. Earth was created by God, it was destroyed by a flood, and the Earth is not millions of years old. Anyway, I must have angered somebody because my wife and I both got arrested in 2006, the summer of 2006, for structuring.
Yeah. Explain to people what structuring is.
I had no clue what it was. If you take your money out of the bank in amounts less than $10,000,
yeah,
they can arrest you for structuring.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. About every 2 weeks, my wife would go get money out just to have cash on hand. We had all kinds of projects here, remodeling some old houses we bought, and college students would come work for us whenever they could. And so we'd hand them $3,000 here, go buy shingles for this house and go buy plywood and, you know, whatever, rather than deal with credit cards. Okay.
Right.
2002, we stopped doing that and got credit cards and thought, oh, okay, everything's done, we're fine. And there was never a crime, but my wife would take out less than $10,000. One, because that's normally all we had. Two, because the pastor had said, try to keep your withdrawals or deposits under $10,000, so you don't want to get on anybody's radar, because these guys, they play rough.
Right.
Well, we weren't trying to hide, nothing illegal.
Right.
The purpose of that stupid law was for drug dealers. I've never taken drugs. I've never tasted alcohol.
Right.
I'm 52 and a half, okay? Anyway, so we got arrested for structuring. Our attorneys both said, after the government gave their spiel on how evil this crime was of taking your money out of the bank, but then my attorney said, look, there is no crime here. Everybody can see that. Don't even give a defense.
Yeah.
Because the law says it has to be over $10,000 in two withdrawals in 1 day.
Right.
Well, we had one withdrawal.
Yeah, I can remember when talking about that when your attorney told you you don't have to go to the stands, you don't have to say anything because there's no crime here, there's nothing to be seen. I remember that. Go ahead.
Well, again, it's supposed to be 2 withdrawals in 1 day that are under $10,000, but the total goes over $10,000. Okay, we never did that. It was one withdrawal every 2 weeks.
Right.
Anyway, after trial, we did not even give a defense. The judge changed the jury instructions to say, if you find the Hovinds took out less than $10,000 rather than more than, you must find them guilty. We have attorneys, objection, nope, overruled. And we were found guilty. My wife went to prison for a year and a day. I was given 10 years.
Yeah.
I served almost 9. I got out 3 weeks ago yesterday. I've been transferred 30 times. I was just about to get out last summer when they brought a new charge of mail fraud.
Yeah, and that's why you were back in Santa Rosa County Jail, because you were in federal court in Pensacola, and that's when I was able to see you there. And so that's why you were here for months. I
was there almost a year in the county jail, which is the pits compared to the federal prison.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Anyway, and so then the day of the trial, they dropped all the charges.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm home. I have a YouTube channel now that's just going viral. The atheists really hate me, brother. It's Kent Hovind Official.
Yeah.
Hovind. It's a Norwegian name. And it's amazing. Anyway, so God's been really good. I can see why so much of the Bible is written from prison or captivity.
Yeah, you and I had some good conversation about some deep theological truths that you've discovered and grown in prison. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. I was able to write 37 books. We're getting those up now on a free KentHovind.com website.
Right.
That somebody put up for me, and yeah, it's been amazing. I don't want to do it again.
No.
It's been amazing.
I hear you. Well, what's your legal standing now? I mean, can anything be brought back? Can it come back up, or is it completely gone, or what's the deal?
Well, I still have a monitor on my leg. I got to stay within 150 feet of the box on the back porch for another week, and then I have 3 years probation.
Okay.
While I was in jail, the IRS held a trial with me not even being there, and found me guilty and said I owe them another $3 million.
Right.
I said, I wasn't even there, guys. What do you mean? How can you hold a trial and I'm not even there? Anyway, that's the way they do things. So what can happen now? Congress can do an investigation on this whole thing, which they should, and Congress can hold a trial and overthrow everything. Congress could also throw out that stupid structuring law and make it retroactive.
Mm-hmm.
That would eliminate my case. There's 4 or 5 different things that can still be done to right this incredible wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Other option is just forget it and go on, and which basically that's all I can do. But there's a lot of legal guys that are really upset about what happened, and they're working on different things to say, look, this isn't right. This has to be fixed. This is America, for heaven's sake.
Right. Well, that was my question: is if there were legal guys, as you said, that are familiar and still caring very much and are involved. So apparently there are, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, please keep us posted on that. Whatever you're able to legally. I mean, keep us posted on how that's unfolding, because I know a lot of folks are deeply, concerned and upset at the way this whole thing has unfolded, and and then so many of us out here. There's very little we can do legally about it, but there are people who can do something. So please keep us posted.
Well, I will, brother, and thank you for the great work you're doing. The book I wrote, several of them up on right now on Lulu.com, but the YouTube channel, and my son took over the ministry, as you mentioned. Yes. Thank you so much for having him preach for you. He's amazing.
Oh, he is amazing. Listen, you've done an amazing job with your children, and Eric, of course, is the head of that ministry. I love all you kids, but I mean, Eric is just an unbelievable man of God. He's awesome, and I'm so proud of him.
He really is. Amen.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we do have to take a time out.